Hope you have installed Visual Studio along with those extensions that we discussed in the last class successfully, and you are all set to start coding, right? So let's go ahead and begin our HTML tutorial. So in this session, we will begin with um, you know um, basic elements and tags of HTML, and also we will understand what HTML is and the background behind it. So let's go ahead. Let's begin. So HTML basically stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So this is what we use to create an HTML page. It will have tags, okay, an opening tag and closing tag for most of the tags, and few tags does not have that, which we will see in a bit. And HTML also describes the structure of a web page. That means how a web page should look. Okay, what all items should be there in a web page. It might have a paragraph, it might have a heading tag, it might have a text box, so it defines the structure, how it looks like. And it also has a series of elements, like I said, elements such as text boxes, drop down list, buttons, and paragraph and headings and so on. Okay. Now that being said, let's understand how this works. So when a client access a web page, okay, normally we access a web page by providing a domain name, right? So we give a domain name, let's say amazon.com, or google.com, or any of those domains. So once we give the domain name, what happens is this domain name goes to a server called domain name server, DNS server. Okay. So there are about 13 servers which will have all these domain names, stored. So when we search for a domain name, when we type a domain name in browser, it goes to these DNS servers and look for the domain name that we have typed. And then what it does is it will then search the respective IP where that website has been stored. Okay. And based on that IP, it will go to that web server, pull that website, and then display back to the client. So client is using a browser, right? So browser, in the browser is typing the domain name, and finally the result is coming back to the browser. So the web server is the hosting server which renders this HTML file to the client. Okay, so that's how it works. That's how the beginning and ending of this request and response that happens while accessing a web page. All right. Now a typical web page or typical HTML file looks like this. It will have a doc type tag in the beginning. So doc type HTML means this particular page is using HTML5 version. That means it is written in the HTML5 version, and all the relevant tags are belonging to that particular version. So then we have an HTML tag, okay, the beginning and ending. So the everything that we do will be inside this HTML tag, okay. And then we have two more tags inside HTML, which is head tag. So head is closing here, head is ending here, and then we have a body tag opening, body tag closing. Okay. Then inside the head tag, we have given a title that says my page, and then inside the body tag we have given another tag called h1, which says hello world. So h1 is a heading one, but it will display in a larger font. So let's see how it looks like. Okay, so I have pasted that code in Visual Studio that you have already installed. So here is what it looks like. So this page, the title is my page. So top of this browser, if you see, it shows my page. That is appearing because I have given title as my page. Okay, and then in the body we have given hello world. So that is why it is appearing here as hello world. So this heading, tags starts from 1 and goes till 6. That means H1 is the largest, and then if I give, let's say, H2, H2 will be a little bit smaller than H1. So I save this. You see, H2 is smaller, right? So like this, it goes till H6. So this is the basic structure of an HTML file that you see on the browser. Okay, and what we will do is we will go ahead and explore more tags. Like there are some set of tags. One of these tags is called as HTML, basic HTML tags, which will have all these that we will see in a bit. So we already see doc type tag that will define the document type of a the HTML file, and which means whether it's what kind of version we are using. So doc type HTML means we are using HTML5. And then we have seen HTML tag, which is nothing but that defines that is an HTML document. And then we already seen head tag, title tag, body tag, H1 tag, right? Already. And there is something called paragraph tag. Paragraph tag is used to display some paragraph. Like I can just see if paragraph, and I just type whatever. This is a paragraph and can be replaced. So once I give this paragraph tag and save it, below here you see there's a paragraph appearing on the screen. This is a paragraph and can be replaced. Got it? And similarly, we have tags like break. BR tag break will give a new line. For example, if I give somewhere here, this is a paragraph, and then here if I give a break tag, break doesn't have an ending. If I give a break tag and then save it, see here after and there's a line break. Okay, that's the purpose of a break tag. Okay, a new line has been uh, given over there, and the rest remaining content has gone to the new line. And then we have an HR tag. HR gives a horizontal line, correct? Uh, so let's see. So I give here HR. Save this. I get an horizontal line over here, right? That's the meaning of HR tag. And these are just basic HTML tags, okay? And then there's something called, if you want to give a comment, you use explanation. That means you want some information about this page which you don't want to execute. Then you give a comment by exclamation and two dashes. And then I can give this is a test page. So this line will not execute. Okay, this is a comment. Just giving a comment on that, or maybe some extra information about something, about a line or about a page, and that will have no impact on the page, on the output. Okay, it will not display anywhere. It just for the commenting purpose, or providing additional information. So that's about basic HTML tags. Okay, let's move on to formatting tags. So we have some formatting tags like bold. For bold, we use B. So let's say I want to show this paragraph in bold. I can give B here, and inside the bold opening and ending, if I give a word called paragraph here, then if you fresh see the paragraph word is in bold style now. Okay. Now there is an additional tag. In addition to bold, I can also use strong. Okay. Strong also can be used. Strong also does the same purpose. It also shows the word in a bold or a strong style. Okay. And then we have something called underline. So if I use, let's say I use you instead of strong, so now the word between this particular tag will be in underline. Okay. And then we also have something called sub. So if I give subscript, let's say I give sub, now what happens is, so this is becoming a subscript. So paragraph has gone a little bit down than the regular line, height. So it has become a subscript, right? And similarly, if I give SUP, it becomes a superscript. It goes a little bit higher than the regular height. Got it? So that's about the formatting thing, subscript, superscript. And then we also have something called italics. If I give I, so the paragraph word will be displayed in italics. See, if I save this, see the paragraph word is in italics. So that's about italics tag here. Then we have something called pre-tag also. Okay, so pre will be showing in just pre-text. It is showing in some different. So the way you display inside pre, for example, let me show you a different one. Let's say instead of paragraph, I am giving pre. Okay, pre stands for pre-formatted. Okay, so let's say I give pre here and here. So okay, this is a paragraph and break. So let me remove this break also. This is a whole straight line, right? That is how the way I have given, same way it is getting displayed. If I press an enter here and show, see, it's exactly showing the way we are giving here. Okay, I'm giving extra tab here, and here also I'm seeing a tab. Pre means the way you are typing the string in the exact same way it will display. That is the meaning of pre tag. Okay. See, I gave P instead of pre, which is paragraph. Now it is not considering any of this enter and tab and all. It is showing, as if there is no enter and there is no tab. It is showing in the regular form. That is what pre-formatted tag is. Okay, moving ahead, there's something called a mark tag. So let's see if I give a mark. Let's say I give a mark instead of H1 here for hello world. This is going to be something like this, as if you have highlighted the word. Okay, so the hello world has been highlighted. If you want to show something like this, give that between mark tag. All right, that's the purpose of mark tag. And then we have something called del. So let's say if I want to show this paragraph word, if I put that inside a del tag, then this will come as a strike. That means del stands for delete. So the paragraph word is showing as a strike through. Okay, so that's the purpose of del tag. So all these tags are just very easy, I believe. You just try it out and then you'll get the idea. All these tags, please try on your computer, and you will see how it works, and that will give you more idea on the functionality of these tags. Now, comments we have seen, and there is something called meter tag. Okay, so meter will show something like this. So let's say I will paste here. So the meter will show a bar kind of thing where it will show, for example, I've given here value equals 0.6, which means 60%. So it will show a meter, and in this 60% is showing as green or completed. Got it? So if I change, for example, if I make it zero point 0.4, and this will appear as a 40%. So if you want to display something like this, okay, you can always uh, show this tag. Uh, indicating some some parameter or some kind of measurement. And then there's something called ABBR tag, which stands for abbreviation. Okay. Now, if I use like this, if I use like this, sorry about that. Something is getting messed up here. Yeah, here if you see, so I've given this is a dummy text. Okay, ABBR. If you, so it is coming in some underline, right? If you move the mouse pointer over there, okay, you are seeing this is a dummy text below. Got it? So let me remove this part. I'm giving some text secret code. Okay. Now the secret code is coming here. If you move the mouse pointer, it is showing a little bit pop-up. See, little pop-up saying this is a dummy text. This is just like an abbreviation. If you want to give an abbreviation in your paragraph or somewhere, you can use this. Okay, for example, I can say I am learning uh, HTML. Okay, HTML. So now it is showing I am learning HTML. So when I move the mouse pointer on HTML, let's say it should show the full form, which is hypertext markup language. So that you see a ABBR tag in the title. If you give hypertext markup language, okay, now it shows like that. If you move the mouse pointer, it's showing hypertext markup language. Got it? That's the purpose of this abbreviation or ABBR tag. Then we have a tag called progress tag. Okay, this is like this is similar to the meter tag, where we see some kind of progress. So let's see this. Um, See, the progress ID equals file and value 32, max is 100. So if I do like this, it is something similar to progress, but in this it will be, it need not be 100%, it can be any number. So here I've given max as 100 and value 32. That's why it is showing as 32%. But then we can have any number of maximum value here and it will show the progress. Okay, what's happening is this much progress is done already. So that's about the progress tag. Now let's get into the form tag. So if you want to display form in our HTML, and here I can show you sort of hello world. I can say as my application. Okay. My application and given a horizontal tag also. Now let me give a form tag. Form is basically used to capture information from user. So to begin with, let me give a input type equal text and input type equals submit. So input is the tag that we use to display form elements. Input type equal text and input type equals button. So now if I save this, uh, I should see a text box and a button. You see, there's a text box over here, and then there is a button. This text box is appearing because I gave input type equal text, and the button is appearing because I gave input type equals submit. Okay, so that is about the basic form with two elements. Now we can have like some more attributes to this. That is, I can have in this text input type equal text, I can give placeholder in placeholder I can give something, enter name. So what will happen is, when I save refresh it in this text box, by default some message will come like enter name. This is called placeholder. If you click and you can still type something, it will go off, right? So that is the purpose of placeholder. Okay. And then we have some parameters like required, meaning if I give this, so right now, if I submit without entering anything, if I submit, it is taking, it is not throwing any message, any error or nothing. But let's say I want to make it a required field. That means the user must enter something in this field when they submit. So for that, I give an attribute called required. Okay, so when I give required and without entering anything, if I click on submit, a message is coming, please fill out this field. It is occurring because I gave here required option. All right. Now we can also make it a disabled field. That means, let's say instead of required, if I give it disabled, if I give disabled, then the field will be disabled. So it is not letting me enter anything. This field is disabled at this time. That is the purpose of disabled. Let me make it enter number so that I can show you something else here. So enter a number, that is expecting me to enter a number, right? So now I can give a validation here saying minimum equals, let's say I can 5, and max equals I can give 10. Now what happens is if I type 1, okay, hang on a second. So we have max length. Okay, let me try this read only max length. So we have seen disabled already, right? So read only is similar to disabled. That means only we can read, we cannot enter anything. Okay, it's pretty much like disabled field. I mean, it is enabled actually, but you cannot enter anything. In disabled means it will be in a grayed out format. See, it will look as if disabled. See, nothing. I mean, when you save it, so this is disabled. It is not, we can't click or anything here. No clicking, nothing is available. But in read only, it is clickable, but we cannot write anything. Okay. Then I can give here max length. So if I give max length equals 5, then I will be able to enter only 5 characters. See, it is accepting only 5 characters, not more than that. Because we have given max length as 5. All right. Now we can also give the size of this text box, right? So it is appearing in a per default size. So if I give size equals, let's say, 10 pixels, then the size of this text box is reduced. Now it is not 10 pixels, right? If I make it, let's say, 30 pixels, it is increased. The size of this text box has been increased. So that way we'll change the size. Okay. Then there's something called autofocus. That means if I if I save this now, well, I mean always when I go to this particular site, I have to click here to enter anything, right? By default, it will not go to that field. So if you want to, as soon as you open the page, if you want the cursor to be here by default, then give autofocus there. Okay. If you give autofocus, then if you click here, see, sorry. So as soon as you refresh the page, by default, the focus is on that text box. See, I can straight away type it. I don't have to click there. As soon as I enter, I don't have to click on that. I can show you with giving one more text box over here. Let's say I give break tag, and then let me give one more text box. Enter. So this was enter name, right? And let me give here enter age, and let me give the autofocus. So now if I refresh this, the focus is on first field by default, right? Instead of that, if I give autofocus to the second field, and when if I refresh this, focus will be the second field, right? That is the purpose of autofocus. So that's these are some attributes which is common attribute for a text box. Okay, and there is something called pattern. So pattern means, for example, if I give a pattern like this, pattern A to Z, small and capital. So what happens is, let's say I give here pattern. Okay. So now if I give something like this, it is saying please match the requested format. That means actually what I am expecting user to enter is only alphabets, whether it is small letter or capital letter, alphabet should be there. Okay, and it also expect to enter. Okay, it also expected us to enter alphabets and number. So it has to have um, wait. Now it is throwing me an error if I give three. Sorry, if I give three letters, it is accepting. Okay, that means this particular pattern. I mean, this you will learn in regular expression. If you have already learned in Python or some other technology, this is same as regular expression. Okay, mathematical regular expression is the same logic that applies here in HTML also. So this three means it should have three letters. Okay, three letters at least, and whether it is capital or small. So that's about pattern. Now let's come to this input type equals submit. So here I have given let me remove this pattern as of now. I've given two fields. I can enter a name, I can enter age, and press submit button, right? Now there's one more button called reset. If I give input type equals reset, then I get another button called reset. So when I type something, if I click reset, that information will go, right? It will be cleared from that. That is the purpose of reset. The submit button means it will go to the server, but reset means it will clear from the form. Okay. Now instead of this submit, we can also give input type equals image. That also works as a instead of submit button. I mean, if I don't want a submit button, let's say, so I can give input type equals image, and then I have to give an src some image name. Okay, so whatever image path if I give, that path will appear over here. See here, because I don't have an image as of now in this folder. Once we have an image here, any file, any JPG or any file in place of src, that will appear here instead of submit, right? So input type because image also works like submit only because there is no image, it is showing submit. If there is an image, it will not show submit, but image will be appearing over here. So that's about input type equal text, submit, reset, and image that we have seen. So we have successfully created a form